Hello, hello. I am Sheena Wire. Happy to have you here. Today we are going to be doing a holiday grief session. Maybe grab some tissues because this one might be a doozy. So before we get started, let's just kind of get present in the moment. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose for 2, out the mouth for 4, in for 2, out for 4, and one more. All right. Thinking of holiday grief. Often, we think of loved ones that are no longer with us. Um, you know, Holidays can be triggering for people when they're missing people. Holidays can be triggering in many ways. Maybe you can't make it home for Christmas, or maybe you have a family member who can't make it for whatever reason. Finances, delayed flights, weather issues. Maybe they're serving our country or serving a mission for the church, and they're not able to be there. So holiday grief can show up in a lot of ways, but what's been on my heart lately is the grief of losing someone around the holidays, whether it's a child, a sibling, an aunt or uncle, a grandparent, a, a parent, a friend. um so right now it's December. We're a few weeks away from Christmas, and Um, in Cache Valley, Utah, there was a accident. It was like a head-on collision. Some freak accident happened. A car with 5 teenagers not wearing their seatbelts crossed over to oncoming traffic and was hit, and it flipped the car. One was dead on scene. One died the next day, who happens to be in my neighborhood, a 14-year-old girl. And I tell you what, I know her mama, just from like Bunko nights. I don't know her that well, but anytime I think of that story, I just cry. I'm like, it is so devastating, what happened. I know another one has had like 10 surgeries. I think there's one, that everything's broken, but he's been released. He's in a wheelchair. I haven't heard an update on the other, and then shortly after, like the very next week, there was 2 17-year-olds killed on I-15. A drunk driver had gone down the freeway the wrong way and hit them, and they both died. They were traveling home to be with family, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. And so, um, I've had my own loss. My fourth child, I went in for the ultrasound at, let's see, November 15th. I was almost 11 weeks, and I found out that there was no heartbeat. So this is mid-November, right? Just mere weeks away from Thanksgiving. And eh, the doctor said, there's multiple things we can do. We can let nature take its course, or you can take pills, or you can do D&C. And I said, let's go in that order. And so there I was for Thanksgiving with a baby inside of me whose heart had stopped. But yet my body showed no signs. And so fast forward come December, the doctor, he had called me personally like every week checking in on me. And he's like, Sheena, it's time. You need to figure out which way you want to choose to let the baby go, because it can start to have complications with your body. So I delivered the baby 5 weeks after the heart had stopped, which was a little over 3 weeks after my appointment. And, the holidays can be hard. Um, the what ifs, imagining about my little girl, certain details. So, um, on the 7th, December 7th was the day that I delivered my little baby. And every year, the day that her heart had stopped, which is in November, 'cause I prayed and asked God, I was like, I want to know, I kind of went off of how big the baby was measuring and everything, and then prayed about it and found out that the heart had stopped November 3rd. And so every year we release balloons. And my daughter had said, Mom, I don't, I feel like we need to celebrate her birthday, the day she was born too. And I was like, okay. So we decided to get a cake. This year she'd be 6 years old, and we got a cake and we sing happy birthday. And my daughter is very close to her sister on the other side, and she totally was like, she's sitting right there, Mom. And I could feel her, and I'm grateful for that. Um, but holidays can be hard. So sending you a big hug for any pain or loss that you've had in your life around the holidays, maybe missing a parent or grandparent, sibling, whoever it may be. Um, my heart goes out to you because it's hard. It can be hard. And so today we're going to hold space for holiday grief of any kind. I feel like this is more directed to those that we've lost. We can definitely have things like calendar trauma where our body remembers the day, even if we don't consciously realize, oh yeah, that was the day my grandma passed or whatever. So we're going to hold space for all of that. I also wanted to offer you a song that I heard a few years back that just is so beautiful. I listened to it again right before this recording. It's a song that there's a gentleman in the Piano Guys group that had found this song on Facebook after he lost his daughter. I think her name's Annie. She went hiking and didn't come home. If I remember correctly, she had fallen like off of a cliff and didn't survive. And so I just wanted to read the first verse to you in the chorus. He says, or the lyrics go, I'm not going to lie. Christmas really hurts this time, 'cause you're not here to celebrate with me. Tears fill my eyes and memories flood my mind as I place your ornament upon our tree. Although this year I have a broken heart, it gives me hope and joy as I remember where you are. You're with the Son of God. You're with the Prince of Peace. You're with the one we're celebrating. And that thought amazes me. Sometimes I still break down, grieving that we're apart, but the sweetest gift is knowing where you are. You're with the Son of God. And I'm just like, thinking about that hurt, that heartache. It can be hard. The memories flood, or the what ifs, or it shouldn't be this way kind of a thing. So I just want you to ask yourself, what grief is coming up for you? Take a deep breath for me. Ooh. There's so much like pressure and heaviness in my heart space. I'm working through. I had all these flashes of scenarios that are definitely taking place in somebody's home this year of, like missing a grandparent, missing the favorite, um, maybe dish that your grandma made, or her perfume, right? That smell, or that hug, or the way she smiled at you or gave you undivided attention. I'm thinking of my neighbor, and she has three other children, and here it's going to be her first Christmas without her 14-year-old daughter, and how that's going to be for her, because she still has to go through the motions, right? She still has to provide a Christmas for her children, you know, decorate a tree, do all the things with a broken heart, with a wound that is still open. Um, I saw parents, maybe to you it was a grandparent, but to your parent it was their parent that they've lost, and how hard that is. Maybe they went too soon. Maybe you thought you'd have more time. Maybe it's your favorite uncle who always was the life of the party, and he's not there anymore. What about a cousin? You know, someone who you still hear their laugh. Maybe it's that you went to visit this person every year for the holidays, or to drop in on Christmas Day, a friend, a neighbor, grandparent, whoever it was. And that's not an option anymore because they're not here. The question coming to mind is, how much grief have you stuffed or locked away or didn't fully process? I think grief can come in waves. My husband and I talked about it recently. Like, I'm at peace with my daughter being on the other side. I know I'll see her again. I know she's here often. I can feel her. Sometimes I'll see her. My daughter's gifts with seeing spirits is much stronger than mine. I think it's because she has no filter, right? No beliefs or no ego yet. And, she's always with her. She can always see her and she'll talk about her. Um, but there's still, waves, like waves of grief, waves of thoughts, waves of sorrows. Um, every year, sometime before Christmas, I sit down and I write a letter to her, to my daughter, and then I put it in her stocking. So her stocking is full of letters over the years, or little pictures that my children have colored for her. So that's something cute and fun and memorable, and just a little holiday tradition. And I worried in the beginning of like balancing, like how do you balance honoring, that child that's gone, or your loved one that's gone, while still loving the people that are still here, right? I mean, are we only focused on the one that has passed on, and all of our current family members are feeling left out, or like, wow, like you don't do anything for me, special, so I've worried about how to do all of that, but uh, there's grace in all of it, right? And we do the best we can. So I want you to ask yourself, what grief needs to come up at this time? What do you need to release? What do you need to let go of? Is there anger? Your anger that they were gone too soon, or how they passed, or that it was sudden, not expected? Is there anger at God? Is there anger at the person for leaving you? Is it just heartache? Heartache because it's going to be a while before you see him again. Or maybe it's caused doubt, right? Like a faith crisis of, will I see them again? I have a testimony that we will. They are here with us. Heaven is not far away. It's literally here on earth with us. And some have the gift to see. And if you don't, maybe you could pray for that if you want it. The gift of knowing or feeling them or smelling them or seeing them. I've had all of that because I prayed for all of that after I lost my baby. And all those gifts showed up. I was like, whoa, what is this? I'm literally smelling an ancestor sitting right next to me. Who are you? And how can I help you? And I just started yawning and processing and feeling all these things, and I had a thought to call my grandma and ask her a question about her father-in-law, because that's who it was. It was my grandpa's dad, but my grandpa had already passed. And because I was driving home alone, and my entire car filled with cigarette smoke, and I panicked. It was so strong. I was like looking in the back seat of my car while driving down the road, like who is like in my back seat smoking? And I found out it was my great grandfather, who I did not meet in this lifetime because he had already passed. And this was December 23rd. And so I called my grandma, and I said, hey, did your father-in-law happen to smoke? Because this was my first experience with smelling an ancestor. And I wasn't sure if they were getting my attention with smoke because I don't smoke and no one in my family does. So that's something that's totally out of the blue that would catch my attention, especially where it was literally so strong. And she confirmed, she's like, oh yeah, he smoked and drank and everything. And I was like, okay, thanks, bye. Hang up the phone. And the very next day, I got an email on Christmas Eve from Family Search saying, your great grandfather died 39 years ago today. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. That was pretty mind blowing. So careful what you pray for. It might show up. Okay. All right. Take a deep breath for me. Sorry if this is hard and heavy, but we're holding space to process any emotions that need to come up. Allow yourself to feel the sadness, the heartache, the pain, the sorrow. Oh, I'm even hearing disbelief, shock. Here comes all the generational stuff. I knew that was going to be coming. And again, I know I've said this in many sessions before, but maybe you haven't heard it lately. Our intention is so powerful. So, what is your intention with this session? What are you choosing to let go? What are you wanting to heal from? I'm hearing grief is never meant to keep us down, like to hold us back. So if you feel stuck or trapped and seeing an image come to mind of like um, being stuck in quicksand, right? Where if you don't move, it won't move, but you're like still stuck and not sure how to get out of it or how to move forward. Uh, It's interesting. Sometimes you hear things and it's like, well, what is truth? You know, you hear time heals all wounds, and then you hear other people be like, no, it doesn't matter how much time goes by, my wound is not healed. But asking yourself when you find a thought or a statement like that, ask yourself what's true for you, or what do you want to believe in this moment? You want to believe that it gets easier with time, that grief, you know, can be healed or not as intense? Or do you want to believe that you're just going to be stuck with this for a very, very, very long time? You know, I think that's where our agency comes in, our agency to choose to heal, to let the anger go, the grief go, the sadness. It's not like we're letting go of the person or the memories, um, which is interesting because I'm not sure if it was this one. My daughter on Sunday, I asked her to do just a quick little card pull for me. And I pulled out a deck I wanted, and she's like, no, I feel like you need a different deck. And this was the day that had marked 6 years since I gave birth to my daughter. And this is a card she pulled. It's called The Child Within, Inner Mother, Innocence, Gentleness, and Tenderness. You see that? So it's almost like a glowing light of a heavenly mother. I'll see if I can put this image in like the notes of the video. And then there's the actual mother, and then inside is a little baby that she's holding, that she's wrapping around her arms. It's a really beautiful picture. I wish it would focus a little bit better, but you can see the baby right there, and the mom, almost like an earthly mother. So my daughter, she fills the cards. She doesn't ever look at them. She just kind of fills over them, and one will just like zap her or get hot, or she'll feel drawn to it. And she knew I was struggling. We don't know all the cards we have. We probably have like 20 decks. I love cards. But anyway, that was the very first one that she pulled for me. But um, I wanted to look up another one was called Memories. I love butterflies. I see butterflies everywhere. So you'll see my necklace is often butterflies. There's a mama butterfly, a baby butterfly. Sometimes I'll have a ring or earrings with it. I see bumper stickers, hats, purses, bags, pants, living butterflies. Obviously it's winter, so not many of those right now, but I love this butterfly oracle deck from Doreen Virtue. I wanted to read, um, there we go. So this card guides you to reflect on happy memories as you look back on your life. Remembering the good times can elicit those joyful feelings and help you focus upon the love instead of pain. So if you're having a particularly hard day thinking about somebody that you've lost, what if you were to switch to maybe writing down um, memories that you have. What did you love about this person? Why did you love this person so much? Did they feel safe to you? Did you feel like, they gave the best hugs, that they were purely loving towards you, that they gave you time, attention, they were very considerate. What is it, that you loved so much about this person? And can you focus on the love instead of the pain? It says if you are grieving the loss of a loved one, feeling glad for the time that you did spend together is especially helpful. Your guidance includes honoring these memories through a photo album or scrapbook, through a memorial, contribution, or celebration, or by writing your memories in an autobiographical book or article. And if you're experiencing reoccurring challenging flashbacks, it may be time for you to work with a counselor who's especially trained in trauma therapy. This professional can help you shed the shadow of the past in a way that's healthy and promotes growth. So isn't that beautiful? I love pictures, and I think that was one of the hardest things is I have the one ultrasound photo of my baby, and she would never be in a traditional family photo again, you know? Um, I guess she was never in a family photo, she was only in the ultrasound photo. And I love photos and I love memories, and I literally have over 42,000 photos from the time my 16-year-old was born until I think I'm caught up to August of this year. So I'm only a few months behind. And they've all been sorted, edited to the ones that I like, and then it displays like a collage. It's through Amazon Prime. If you're a Prime member, I mean, this is year 2025. I don't know what it'll be in the future, but they have unlimited photo uploading and photo storage. So you upload them, you get an Amazon like Fire Stick, and you go to Amazon Photos, log into your Amazon account, and all your photos are there that you choose to upload. You can either upload them from your phone or like a computer. So as I sort them and edit them, I put them onto an external hard drive. So anything that gets loaded up there will automatically upload to Amazon Photos. And then you just set it up on slow speed and the mosaic, which is a collage, and it will just pull them in. And it is so fun and so beautiful. And so you could do something like that. Maybe this person was older and you'll need to scan in some photos. So I literally have a giant 27-gallon tote. Both of my grandparents on my mom's side have passed, and I got in charge of the family memories and photo albums. So that's my job. Luckily, my aunt said, take your time, and you can do it when my youngest is, in school, which is still a few years out, but I'll be scanning lots and lots and lots of photos. So is there a way that you can honor the memory of your loved one? And um, I also did, I'll link this in the show notes as well. I was just interviewed by Stephanie Eccles on her podcast, Dear Daughters, and I shared my story for my posterity and for the world, a message of hope that it's never too late to live happily ever after. And that was the story of how I met my husband. And then we also transitioned into the loss of my baby and how that was so hard, but also a beautiful gift that opened up like family lines of spiritual gifts and blessings. And it's so beautiful. So I'll share that with you so that you can think about something, maybe doing something like that to honor your family member that you've lost. All right, see what's coming up. Take a deep breath. I'm hearing that sometimes you just need permission to show up in any way you show up this holiday season. Whether you're crying one minute and laughing the next, it's okay. If you're withdrawing and staying in bed for the day, it's okay. Oh, I still feel some heartache. I keep getting this sensation of like, again, grief is for a moment. It's not meant to last a lifetime. You can replace the grief with love, right? Those memories connecting to the love versus the pain. Sharing about your loved one, honoring that loved one's memory, things like that. But we're not meant to stay stuck in our grief. So yeah, it's okay if you stay in bed for a day, but maybe could you not do 2 days? Maybe could you get out of bed the next day and at least shower, right? Can you just do something each day? Just a little thing if you're in the depths of grief and sorrow, because your wound is still very open. Oh, I'm feeling a heartache about time. Um, Time can be hard. Uh, what's coming up? There's like the time we lost, the time we could have had, the time before we see them again. There's a lot of heartache around time. There's heartache around the world keeps spinning. Why? Um, I remember when my cousin passed, and we were driving out to the cemetery, and I was like, "Why are all these people on the road? Where are they going? What are they doing? Don't they know? Like, don't they know that we just went through this horrific loss?" Um, my cousin was driving into town on a motorcycle, and there was an elderly couple who had pulled over to the shoulder on the right side of the road. They'd gotten a phone call and needed to turn around. So what did they do? They're all the way on the shoulder on the right side. They make a U-turn over 5 lanes of highway, and they did not see my cousin coming. And so they pulled out right in front of him, and my cousin T-boned him. He was 27 years old, leaving behind 3 boys. So honoring time and the pain around time. He was too young. He still had his whole life to live, or that time didn't stop, when he passed, or that people kept moving on. That can be a hard thing. So honoring any grief that you have around time or heartache. All right, one last visual coming to mind that we're going to work through. I want you to imagine all the grief, all the heartache, the sorrow, the sadness, the shock, any other emotion that is in your heart space. Fear, worry, doubts, anger, bitterness, resentment. Ooh, I want you to imagine gathering it all up. And I invite you to invite your Savior in. See him there. See him holding space for you. He has felt all of this pain already. He knows what it's like. And he's just waiting for you to turn to him and ask him to take it. Use your agency. Choose to hand over whatever you can. Maybe it's 10%, maybe it's 30, maybe it's 85%, whatever you're willing to give to him. I'm going to hold space with him for you as you visualize handing anything over. If you need to cry, scream, pound on his chest, it's okay. I promise you, he can take it. I invite you to watch this play out. What does the Savior do? What does he do with the burdens and the heartache that you hand him? And does he have a message for you? Does he hand you a gift, something in return? Take a deep breath for me. That was a lot. Tears just streaming down my face as I'm holding space for all the grief. I also felt more ancestral stuff coming up. Um, I saw the grief of like younger children who had lost a sibling, but were too young to understand, like why aren't they there? Where's Sissy? Where's brother? What about those who lost a parent? Where's mama? Where's daddy? But just know that I was holding space for pain that your ancestors have gone through that might have been passed down to you. We get all of their trauma passed down through epigenetic. You gotta choose to release, choose to let go, choose to allow them to heal. Um, One oil that I love is called Holiday Peace. It's the oil of contemplation. I'll just read this. Holiday Peace is an incredible partner in contemplation. It captures the natural wintertime state of dormancy, which allows vital time for energy conservation and introspection. It reminds that there are seasons and cycles for all living things. The peaceful aroma of this blend invites individuals to surrender to the stillness of the season and allow time to search out deeper meaning behind their experiences. Oftentimes, reflecting on the wisdom gained from the past will provide the strength and perspective needed for new growth ahead. Holiday Peace is also an excellent companion on the journey of generational healing. With its combination of fir oils, Holiday Peace acts as a powerful facilitator for helping individuals connect to their ancestral story. It gently leads the souls towards truth and discovering what has been unresolved from previous generations. The body often manifests generational stories held deep within the DNA. Holiday Peace assists in unearthing what is stored in the body. The body, as a record keeper, stands as a witness to each sorrow, imbalance, strain, neglect, and burden. This blend invites a gentle examination of what the body is manifesting and encourages compassionate listening to the body's messages. It assists in the work of restoration, restitution, and releasing. Although its powerful energy brings buried truth to the surface, holiday peace also provides the gentle steadiness and quiet strength of a peacemaker. It offers reassurance to the individual being called as the living link to heal the family line for past and future generations and encourage them to make peace within and without. So, if you don't already have that oil, it's amazing. It's from doTERRA. All right, my friends, take another deep breath. What did you get out of this session? What shifted? What's changed? What's different? Did you release tears? Were you yawning, burping, sweating, getting hot flashes, tingling sensations, feeling like a weight has been lifted off your chest or your shoulders or your back? These are all signs of movement, things releasing. And I want you to ask yourself, what gift did Christ give you? And maybe you could ask for a different gift. What is it that you need to fill your heart space with? The strength, the hope? Is it reassurance? The faith, peace, gratitude, connection, trust? Mm. And can you breathe in the energy of what it is that you wish to receive to help you make it through the holiday season, be able to show up and be present with those around us, and still holding space for any and all emotions that you feel. It's okay. We don't want to stuff them. We don't want to bury them. We want them to come up to the surface. Allow them to be expressed. And how are you going to honor the memory of your loved one? Did anything come to mind? If so, I invite you to take action on that. All right, one last deep breath, flushing out your energy field, your grounding system, wrapping you in a big hug, warmth, light from your ancestors or Heavenly Mother, Savior, whoever you want that love from. Almost having it be like a soft, like minky hug blanket. Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing yourself to feel, to process, to hold space for your ancestors as well. Thank you for doing the work. I pray that you will have a beautiful, happy, peaceful holiday. See you next time. Bye-bye.